This is the trans people versus JK Rowling. That's our next topic here. Trans versus JK.
That's an old
Um,
one.
it's coming up. It's been coming up a little again. JK has been a big target of late for the past couple of years. Despite the funny thing is, if you look into JK Rowling, she's like the most liberal person you could think of. Like, other than saying one thing about trans people, she's like a very liberal person. She is not these people's enemy. It's very funny that she's been turned into this
So
demon.
they demonize her despite her not being against any of their causes.
Yeah, and also like she said was like all she said is this. She said, "I don't hate trans people, but I think there's a difference between male females. There's a difference." And she's for female rights. So like that's all she's really said was that.
But does
Like
she
it's
mean
not like
like
horrifying.
does she mean
It's like
sexually or does she mean like
she means
just
in general.
attitude wise?
I think she means sexually. I think she means attitude wise. I think she means physically. I think she means mentally, which I don't disagree with her on any stance there. That's what it is. That's true. That's true. You know, I mean, Mixixipix is saying, remember when the memes about her turning everyone gay? Yeah, I mean, she did. She also very much let Hermione be a black
Wait,
character.
is GHEY gay different than gay AY gay?
I think that's the British way to say gay, like a Scottish gay. That's a gay person, that kind of thing.
He's not British, he's Canadian.
No, but I'm saying she's British, JK. Old Joanne. Old Joe. She's British.
She changed her hair color? You thought she used to be like a dirty blonde.
Yeah, I think she did dye it there. Still looking pretty good, by the way, for her age.
She looks like that
It's a
sorceress from
Twitch.
Game of Thrones. The
It's a
one that
Twitch-friendly misspelling, but I like the idea of doing a Scottish accent with it. She's gay.
that's
Fucking
Scottish.
whale of a time. I mean, Scottish, Irish, all the same thing, right? Fucking whale of a time. Having a fucking whale of a time watching old Harry Potter. Fucking Potter. Gotta go watch the Banshees, man. Check out the Banshees of Inisherin. Everyone in the world thinks
And
you're
I need to
fucking
watch
Dell.
that.
Yeah, it's good.
I saw a lot of fucking movies last couple days though. Saw The Whale, I saw The Menu, and Batman.
Yeah, I gotta see the menu. It's been on my list for a little bit. I have it downloaded.
It's good. It's I missed the beginning of it, but
I'm watching I'm watching Death Race 2000 with David Carradine in a gimp suit right now.
oh
David Carradine in the gimp suit. He loved that shit. He's fucking.
yeah,
He
he's
loved
just
that
like Tuck. I
masochism.
mean, he died because of that type of shit.
Yeah, it all started from Death Proof 2000. But yeah, she's not someone who's a hateable person. She doesn't hate trans people. She's into women's rights. But now, the things that have come out lately is that these trans people are wishing death upon her. Now, this is going to be, by the way, I'm going to warn everyone. This individual is very gross to look at. I think you're going to have some trouble with this, Lovitz. If you didn't like the lady from, what is it? That white lady with dreads in that one movie,
No, don't show that again.
Children of Men. If you didn't like
No,
her,
I don't like that shit.
you ain't gonna like this. But listen to what this
Oh
lady or
no, I'll
person
be back.
says about JK Rowling.
And people like JK Rowling need to fucking stop because my people are dying because of her. She is killing us. Oh, but there's one more good thing about this book. JK Rowling fucking dies. Yeah, Gretchen had the nerve to kill off the queen of the turfs, and it is glorious. I only wish that scene could have been even more brutal. And people like JK
Wow, I only wish that scene could be more
She
brutal.
played Ursula in that Little Mermaid reboot.
Yeah, but isn't that disgusting? You're like, I wanted them to kill off her even more brutal. Like, ew. For a person who only just said like one or two things, like you serious? Like you sure about that? You know, like I might have a clip for that. You sure about that?
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why? You sure it wasn't because after the thing that happened to me, no one could look at me without dying laughing? You sure about that? You sure about that's not why?
But yeah,
I thought the Disney one just replaced this version. You have two still?
I got that one as that's the regular one. But by the way, Disney is not involved in tonight, which is actually Warner Brothers is involved in this story here. Warner Brothers is continuing to do the deal with JK Rowling, and they're going to make a TV show. We've talked about this before. So could this be really bad? Probably. The show will probably be awful. You know, like we've seen this before. Lightning in a bottle can't be replicated. There was something different about the Harry Potter series, something different about Lord of the Rings, something different about, you know, Star Wars original series. It's stuff you can't really recreate. Even again, The Exorcist
Well, what do you
can't
think
really
the big
recreate
draw
it.
was for Harry Potter?
I think it was a lot of things, man. I think it was the time period. I think it was a new thing for a lot of people. I don't know. It was a lot of things. It was a lot of things all at once. I think it was
really
also.
understood why it was such a big fucking deal.
I think it was like a big undertaking, taking like kids that you knew, like, okay, we're gonna cast these kids
for like the movies, but
yeah, but we're gonna cast these kids and have them in this fucking movie series for years and fucking years. Like that's a big undertaking. So it's a different thing. I don't know. And again, the books, by the way, were still selling at the time, so it was just a phenomenon. It's kind of like how Game of Thrones hit.
Richard
Game of Thrones.
Linklater did similar type of thing with that Boyhood stuff.
I guess that was a shitty movie.
It's not a movie; it's like a series. But yeah, it is shitty. It's like mumblecore.
These are big fleshed out worlds, and canon matters, and it's true. And a lot of the movies that were done with Harry Potter were cool. I mean, I love Prisoner at Azkaban or whatever, the one movie by the Spanish director. Is it Inarritu? It's probably Inarritu.
I love it so much that neither one of us could probably fully remember what.
It's not Inarritu. It's the other. There's like 3 Spanish directors. There's Guillermo. There's Inarritu, and then what's the other one? That's probably the other one that did it.
Manischewitz.
Yeah, Manischewitz. Well, isn't that a brand of matzah?
It's something Jewish. Yeah,
that's a matzah brand.
I'm so fucking engulfed in that world. I can't.
Oh, Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah, that's it. The guy who did Gravity.
Alfonso Cuarón.
Fuck Gravity. The movie's boring as shit. Sandra Bullock and George Clooney can go float in space for the fuck I care.
Yeah, it's better than Ahsoka. Way better than Ahsoka.
Well, so Ahsoka, like, you had to watch.
I'll give it that. Like, come on.
Season that you could have just, fell asleep halfway through the movie and not even bothered.
Yeah, still like any episode of that Ahsoka is not better than Gravity. So I'll say that. It's okay. Had its moments. It wasn't that good though. But the shit is happening, so all these trans people have to beware because it is happening. Here's some more disgusting trans people, and even JK Rowling tweeted this out, I think, to make note of how gross this person is. And she said, the gentleman might want to supply examples of the horrendous, horrifying, disgusting things I've said about trans people. Because this is true. She's really not said a lot. Sounds as though there are loads.
I feel like
she's really not said much.
She was like one of the few like early combatives to the whole movement, and
not really
still going is enough of a reason to scapegoat her out.
All she's really said is, I don't think, they should have women's rights. She's more pro women's rights.
Like really, back then that's like all it took. You didn't have to say anything. It's just saying anything at all was enough. It didn't really matter what it was.
Yeah, Mixixaplex says I like Gravity better than Ahsoka because I haven't bothered to watch Ahsoka. Well, you made a good move.
Really, I thought you were. I thought
I'm the only one in the world. I think
Disney release right with whatever we were covering.
I have a coworker who watches all this shit, and he likes it, and I'm like, no, he likes Ahsoka. He liked Obi-Wan. He liked Boba Fett. He likes The Mandalorian, and it's like
When you look into their eyes while they're talking about it, are they just?
But yeah, and I always say like, "Are you sure you like it?" Like, because it's like, there's been a lot of bad things. I'm like, "You sure?" Like, I feel like I really want to like let him know like, you're not right, by the way, bro. Like you're not right.
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why? You sure it wasn't because after the thing that happened to me, no one could look at me without dying laughing? You sure about that? You sure about that's not why?
Yeah, and like my buddy loves that shit too. It's like, yeah, this guy is a friend, and I do like him, and he's a good person, and I really do wonder. It's like,
are they being brainwashed?
No, I think they're easily entertained, where like they'll accept something that's crappy. It's like I can't accept anything.
Well, yeah,
like, I can't accept crappy shit.
But
they don't mind
paying attention to any of it. It's just they just need something to consume.
Well, but that is like something I've said. I've said this multiple times about Ahsoka, where I've said it is watchable. So I think to a lot of people,
but what does that mean?
What I'm considering a 6.5 to other people could be an 8.5. Like that is something you have to notice.
Mean? Like it's just like when you need something to throw on, it's good
like The Exorcist. It's like I sat through that movie and I was entertained and I didn't think it was bad and I had a good time. But was it the best movie I've ever seen? No. That's acceptable. Same thing with Ahsoka. There's been episodes that have been good, where it's been like, is it the best thing I've ever seen? No. But can I watch it and not like turn it off? Yeah. But then there's been some episodes that are not that, where they are bad, and you want to turn them off, and they're boring. So it's both. But here's what this guy says. A man goes on an unhinged rant about JK, like she's actively saying the most horrendous, disgusting things about trans people. So here's what he has to say, and this is a very misinformed viewpoint, is what I think, and I think a lot of people think this about JK, which is not accurate and stupid.
JK Rowling is a transphobe, right? I see so many people on here still supporting Harry Potter, like, Harry Potter, yay! And I'm like, you realize that the author is a transphobe. Like, she actively says the most horrendous, horrifying, disgusting things about trans people, specifically trans women, on X, right? Twitter. You get that. How do you still support it? How do you still perform that music? How do you still read those books?
By the way, the most horrendous thing she said was, I think trans women and trans people are different than men. Like, she hasn't said anything bad. She said, I don't hate trans people. I think that women and men are different, and women's right needs to be, represented and understood. That's like all she said. She's not been out and like said like, I fucking hate these people. Like, what are you fucking talking about?
That's what they're referencing?
Yeah, it's like that's all she said. She like, you can look this up. She said very limited things that are anything controversial. I think it's just the fact that she's famous, that she said anything will piss these people off. Yeah, I like this. Calm down there, forehead. Mix like the Blake said. Yeah, I mean, look at that forehead. It's like a fucking 8 head.
How do you still watch this shit? How do you still talk about Harry Potter? You know that she actively is doing things to hurt the LGBT.
By the way, it looks like he consciously wore Harry Potter glasses. Am I right on this? Like, he consciously put those glasses on for this video. That's also very weird. I think he's trying to play into it.
LGBTQ community. I love those things. I love the whole franchise, but I can't support.
What? So that's another thing that's stupid. If you love the franchise, why would you let this bother you? Does the franchise speak for one? Like, this franchise is beyond one person's viewpoint politically. Like, why are you getting upset about what one person's stance politically says? It's a fucking fantasy series. You can still like it, but
support it because it hurts my siblings. I can't.
It hurts his siblings.
How do you do this? How do you do that? Do you just not know? Are you just willfully ignorant? Are you trying to say like separate the artist from the art? What?
Yes, exactly. Separate the artist from exactly. That's exact. It's funny. He even knows. Yes. That is what art is. Art is a different thing than the artist. it becomes its own thing, especially the zeitgeist of a big series like a Harry Potter or a Star Wars or a Lord of the Rings. It becomes its own thing. It's its own living creature.
No, you should always separate the artist from the art because you don't want whatever person's outside stuff to impact the actual product or film.
And also, this is coming from more of the cult outside of this, perspective. But JK Rowling herself has said that this was like a channeled, like she channeled this story. Like it's not even her story, which again, a lot of Christian people will think that's demonic, but who knows? But like she's even said that,
Well,
this story was just like flowing out of her like a channel.
What do you expect?
Yeah. Well, and there is real witchcraft references in the whole thing. A lot. And there are real demons mentioned in the text of things. And there are real demons mentioned in titles of characters and other things. There is legit occult references to the whole thing. She probably was channeling this. And then again, that's a whole other story if you think it's a bad thing. I know a lot of people have said that there is not good things in the books and all that shit. A lot of Christians are nuts, but hey, I just saw The Exorcist, so I don't know. Mixixaplex says, I personally don't mind Harry Potter. I agree. I liked as a child.
What is that, like the porn version?
I guess so. As a child, I liked the first book. I read the first book. I read the first 2 books as a child. And then I saw actually I was in England and I saw I think the second movie. I saw Chamber of Secrets while I was in England. So, oh wait, no, never mind. I'm wrong. I saw Chamber of Secrets in Florida. I was in a Florida theater. In England, I saw Return of the King. I remember I saw Return of the King in England. Great fucking movie. Good old Peter Jackson right there. But yeah, no, I like Harry Potter. I think it has a big Christmas feel to me. I get a Christmas vibe from Harry Potter.
Well, yeah, there's that one where they're out in the snow and there's like some ghost that fucks somebody up or some shit.
Yeah, well, also they're always like Harry, because he doesn't have a family or whatever, he has to stay in Hogwarts for Christmas, so that's a big part of the books and sometimes in the movies. So I don't know, it gives me a Christmas vibe. That's not a bad vibe.
Well, I don't know what it is, but that and the Chris story and some other shit around Christmas, they always have Harry Potter marathons that go on.
Well, because I think it does remind people of Christmas. Also, those movies,
that whole like jingling, fucking.
So does Lord of the Rings, though.
All that shit, like it sounds like sleigh bells, fucking.
Yeah, well, also Lord of the Rings. I think it's a release time. Both Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings were released during December. So they all both kind of remind me of December, which is again Christmas time. They have that vibe. Mixixaplex says, I watched Shaun of the Dead with the kids last night. Oh, they liked it. Oh, that movie's fucking brilliant, man. I love that fucking movie. It's so awesome too how that first shot of the movie where he's exiting his apartment and then it's like a shot that follows him to his job and he's walking through, and then they replicate it like 20 minutes later when the zombies happen, and that movie's brilliant. That's Edgar Wright's peak. That and Spaced were great. I love Spaced. So yeah, love Shaun of the Dead. I put up there as probably my favorite zombie movie of all time is Shaun of the Dead. I think it even
too.
Yeah, no, yeah, Hot Fuzz is great. I love those Edgar Wright movies. Even the other one, the World's End, was pretty good.
It was alright. I gotta say the ending was pretty
stupid,
weird,
yeah.
And it felt rushed.
Yeah.
Or not rushed, like didn't know what to do with it anymore.
Yeah, but it's hard to not like that movie. It's a gem. It's a gem. Shaun of the Dead. Also very emotional, even in the like, especially when his mom gets bit and he's like, like I don't know. There's good parts to that movie. It's there's emotion to it.
That's a really
that
good,
weighs into the
gore
story.
sequence too, when the really obnoxious nerdy guy who's trying to fuck his girlfriend, but he's stuck in the friend zone.
Oh yeah, he gets the The
in
Dawn
the
of the Dead
window,
death
sort of like in
in Dawn of the Dead, same
not
thing.
it's
Yep.
Day of the Dead, where
Day of
the
the
guy
Dead. Yeah.
is on the floor and they rip his body in half. I feel like that's a. I don't know if that's like a reference,
It is.
but
It is. It
it
is.
felt very similar to me in the just kind of whole feel of
Dude.
the scene.
Day of the Dead is, I think, the best of the Romero series. It's an underrated opinion right there, but Day of the Dead is better than Dawn of the Dead. It's a way better movie. Also,
Um,
it's a way better movie.
I feel it's more memorable to me. Like I would, but it might be based on how old I was at the time. It was that movie came out a couple years later, right?
Well, the thing is, Dawn of the Dead has this big. Dawn of the Dead's good, but it has this big slowdown in the middle where it's like they're basically just kind of hanging out in the mall, and the movie fucking slows the fuck down.
What also
It's almost just
what
like they're
always
trying to
kind
fill
of
the time.
threw off that film for me was the Dario Argento version, and then also the remake that came out in like the early 2000s. Both of those kind of distorted the original version
Well, the
from what it
European
was.
cut is the one to watch because I like that one the best. The Dario
That's his
Argento
Goblin
soundtrack.
film
Yeah,
stuff,
The
right?
one with the Dario Argento Goblin soundtrack is the best one. That's actually the only way I really remember it, though. So I don't know the other ones. I remember it with the Dario Argento cut. I love that movie, though. I love both. I love both for sure. Um, Definitely better than Night of the Living Dead. Both of those movies, and I also love the Pennsylvania vibe to it, especially Dawn of the Dead. Especially when they're like the hunters are out there just kind of being hicks, like killing the zombies, drinking beer. Yeah, very fucking 70s. I love that bit.
But the whole like shoot him in the head
Yeah, and they're
revelation.
just out there like it's like a turkey hunt. Like, they're just fucking to them it's just like fun turkey hunt, like drink beer and shoot zombies. Like, yeah. Yeah, that's fucking America right there for you. Especially like to me, like I remember that vibe in New Jersey more like in the early 90s. That's gone nowadays, but early 90s, that was there. That whole vibe of people.
Well, like trampoline wrestling and
No. I just like I mean, there's farm stuff near me, so I guess I was used to that farm culture, but the farm people in the early 90s were very similar to the c- the hunter characters in Dawn of the Dead that are just killing zombies and drinking beer. Like it's pretty fucking close. That didn't change too much a couple years later. But speaking of that, not changing and being ungrateful cowards is Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson, who vow to never have anything to do with JK Rowling because of how offensive she is.
really, you motherfuckers.
Yeah. Just because she said
You're
like
only
one
relevant
thing.
because of this fucking person.
Yeah. I mean, that's like incredibly offensive. Like, exactly. The only reason you are around in actors is because of
The only reason
her.
anyone is listening to you right now is because of this person.
Well, apparently this is really just Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. Rupert Grint even said, to me, she's an aunt. I might not agree with everything she says, but she's like my aunt. So what he said is very accurate. Like, yeah, exactly. You might not agree with whatever your conservative, person in their family says, but you still understand that, I still like that person. It's not a big deal to me. We just differ on opinions, which is fine. Like, you don't have to agree with everyone you know. That's the fucking life. But you also don't have to be offended by them, and it's stupid. Here's Daniel Radcliffe going on about J.K. Rowling's. Yeah, same happened to Roseanne, and Roseanne was funny. Yeah, what Roseanne said was so true. She said how that lady looked like someone from the Planet of the Apes, and holy fuck. Look up that lady. Look up that lady that she said
I
looks like from
know.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, but
Yeah, she fucking does. I mean, she does. It's not like she looks like the lady from Planet of the Apes. It's not a joke. Yeah, and exactly the people that made she made famous turned on her, especially during that time. That whole show was popular because of Roseanne Barr in the 90s. That was her heyday.
Yeah,
that's
but I
why-
would say the Roseanne cast is a little less notable.
Well, yeah, but they were holding on to it for so like the only reason they still exist now is because of Roseanne. You know what I mean? Like fucking DJ.
Well, no, I thought they had that whole fucking spin-off shit.
Yeah, but the only reason it happened, the only reason that spinoff happened was because of Roseanne. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I know, but like the Connors is almost as big as.
yeah, but it just
Roseanne
it
was.
happened because of Roseanne. That's the point. But here you go, Dana Radcliffe going into this. Dana Radcliffe said, "Transgender women are women. Any statement to the contrary erases the identity and dignity of the transgender people and goes against all advice given by professional health care associations who have far more expertise on the subject matter than I or Joe do." Joe meaning JK Rowling. Joanne Rawlings right there.
Mhm.
And then here's this
What is this photo on the right? Oh my god!
Yeah, I know. That's why I had to pull it up.
I can't even pay attention to what's going on.
But look at this. What this guy said is so true. The caption of this. Imagine saying this. Imagine saying this, stating males who identify as women, and that J.K. Rowling's, who's been a woman for 58 years, is not versed on the subject of what a woman is. You know what I mean? Like, that is embarrassing.
Well, what's worse, men telling women what they're supposed to be, or women telling men what they're supposed to be?
Well, that's also funny. It is like, honestly, it's counterintuitive. Exactly the same thing. It's like he's telling women
I'm
what
still
they should
like-
think as a
I
male.
can't get over that photo. It's hard to read what he's talking about. Oh, the Krakens are playing.
Krakens are on, man.
Yeah, here's
Dude, the
some Kraken.
Rangers. Dude, the Rangers couldn't like win a single
What
fucking
depth did this
preseason game.
come from?
Well, look at this.
10,000
person said-
leagues underneath the sea.
This person said, "How? Holy shit!" I agree with Ray. I'm gonna put a little like on that.
Ugh.
Best comment all day. It needs to be celebrated.